All right, so today we're tackling a big one. You've probably heard about this tool making waves, OpenClaw, but we're going to look at it from a very specific angle. Could this really be the 24/7 AI research assistant that academics have been dreaming of? Let's dive in and see what's what. Okay, just picture this for a second. What if you had an assistant who literally never sleeps? One that spends all night sifting through research papers, organizing your messy notes, and has a full briefing ready for you the moment you wake up. I mean, for any PhD student or researcher on a tight deadline, that sounds like an absolute dream, doesn't it?
Yeah, because let's be real, we all know the daily grind of academic research. It's just endless. Endless literature searches, trying to manage hundreds of notes and sources, desperately trying to track new publications, and don't even get me started on formatting citations. It's these exact headaches that all these new AI tools promise to make disappear.
Well, this whole idea isn't science fiction anymore. It's exactly the promise of OpenClaw. The whole pitch is that it's an autonomous AI assistant, and get this, you can command it with just a simple text message. Think Telegram or iMessage. Super easy, right? But, and this is a big but, as we're about to see, that simple surface is hiding something way more complicated underneath. So, what is OpenClaw really? It's super important to get this straight because it's not just another ChatGPT. It's trying to be something way more than just a chatbot. And here's the key difference, the big idea. It's an autonomous assistant. You see, a regular chatbot, it just suggests answers. It gives you text. But an autonomous assistant, it actually executes tasks on your computer. It can browse the web for you, manage your files, even click around in your apps on your behalf. Think of it this way. A chatbot is like an advisor, but OpenClaw wants to be your actual employee. Okay, so how does it work? It's actually a pretty simple loop. First, you install something called a skill, which is basically just a plugin that connects it to an app, like your email. Step 2, you give it a job to do. You tell it what you want. And finally, step 3, you get the result. And I mean a result, like a finished document, not just a text message back. All right, so that's the theory. But let's get practical. How does this whole autonomous assistant thing actually help when you're, deep in the trenches of writing a thesis? Okay, first up, let's talk about the big one. The one thing every researcher spends way too much time on, the literature review. This is where a tool that can work while you sleep could be an absolute game changer. And just look at this sample prompt. Imagine texting this to your assistant before you go to sleep. Research the top 3 arguments against my thesis from the last 5 years. Save a structured report with citations to my research folder. Seriously, the AI could then spend all night digging through databases, pulling out arguments, and when you wake up, bam, there's a whole report waiting for you. No more endless searching and copy-pasting. That's the dream. All right, here's another huge use case people are talking about, turning OpenClaw into a second brain. Basically, it becomes one single place where you dump everything related to your research, and it's all perfectly organized and searchable. Just think about how you work. You get an article link. You have a random thought about a theory while you're on the bus. A colleague mentions a book. You see some raw data. Instead of scrambling for a notebook, the idea is you just fire off a quick text to your assistant for everything. It just captures it all, so all those little bits and pieces are suddenly organized and easy to find. Okay, the power here is obviously incredible. But to do any of this, you have to give it the keys to your entire digital kingdom. And this is where we need to get serious and talk about the huge risks involved. This is not some simple app you just download and forget about. This is the fundamental trade-off right here. To get all that amazing help, you're literally giving an AI agent access to basically everything. We're talking your email, your calendar, all your files, your browser history, the works. And here's the kicker. Securing all of that, that's 100% on you. And that brings us to the 2 completely different sides of OpenClaw. On one side, you've got this super simple, easy-to-use text message interface. But on the other side is this really complex, kind of dangerous reality. You, yes you, are responsible for setting up a server, making sure it's secure, and keeping an eye on it to protect all your data. And believe me, this risk is not just a what-if scenario. It's real. Security researchers found over 30,000 of these OpenClaw systems just sitting out there on the public internet, totally insecure. That's 30,000 people who basically left the front door to their digital life wide open, probably without even knowing it. So, what are we talking about here? The threats are pretty clear. You've got those exposed servers, obviously. You've got malicious skills from the community that could be hiding nasty code. But then there's this really clever, really scary one called prompt injection. Picture this. Someone sends you a malicious email. Buried inside is a hidden command for your AI. When your assistant reads that email to summarize it for you, it gets tricked into running that secret command without you ever knowing. It's basically a Trojan horse for your AI assistant.
Okay, so after all that, should you just avoid this thing completely? Well, not necessarily, but it absolutely means that if you're even thinking about experimenting, you have to be responsible and you have to be safe. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. If you're gonna try this, here's your safety checklist. And seriously, this is non-negotiable. 1. Isolate it. Do not run this on your personal laptop. Get a cheap, dedicated virtual server. 2. Vet every single skill you download. Check the security scans before you install anything. 3. Limit direct access. Use a secure go-between like Zapier to connect to your apps. And 4. Audit your setup all the time using the security checker that comes with it. So what's the bottom line here? It's pretty simple, actually. OpenClaw isn't just another productivity app you download from the App Store. It's a seriously powerful professional-level tool. And that means it demands a security-first mindset. It's really for people who are cautious, who like to experiment, and who are totally ready to handle the technical side of keeping things locked down.
Which really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? Is this amazing power of a true autonomous assistant worth the very real security risks? Are we looking at the future of how academic work gets done? Or is this whole thing just a Pandora's box that most of us should probably leave closed? Honestly, the answer really comes down to how tech-savvy you are and how much risk you're willing to take. Look, if you found this kind of balanced breakdown of a complex new tool helpful and you want more clear guidance on the tech that's shaping academia, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Our whole goal is to cut through the marketing hype and give you what you actually need to know. Thanks so much for your time.